Welcome to Snake Cinema Reviews. I am your host, Prince Elias, and I'm shooting this early in the morning. Snakes are behind me, so I'm not about to wake them up because they sleep during the daytime. So today's review is Beyonce's Black is King that premiered on Disney Plus, and I have my notes because I took a lot of them. But basically, the synopsis is this is a visual album. It's basically all the songs that's in the movie, in her soundtrack, The Lion King, The Gift soundtrack that came out last year when The Lion King live action remake. She basically made a music video for every single song on that album, but she had it all in one big cohesive story. Basically, she retold The Lion King, except instead of animals, she used live humans from Africa, actors, dancers, choreographers from the continent of Africa, and they pretty much retold the story using her music from that soundtrack of The Lion King. And to be quite honest, it's 10 times better than the actual remake of The Lion King. Like, The Lion King remake was I enjoyed it, but I was disappointed, and a lot of people were disappointed. A lot of people complained because it was literally a shot for shot remake. The only difference is they probably added one extra scene with the hyenas, and they cut Be Prepared. Like, they didn't even do the whole song, but everything else was a shot for shot, word for word, line for line, except for Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen's ad-libs for Timon and Pumbaa. They did add their own jokes and ad-libs that were different, but that was about it. Like, everything else was shot for shot, line for line, scene by scene of the original Lion King, which what disappointed everybody. But this, Beyonce basically told the story, Simba, his journey, the hero's journey of being a young prince, wanting to be king, father dies, dealing with the enemies, running away, hiding, and basically coming back home to reclaim your throne. You know, the whole story of the Lion King, but she used actual people in it. She had actual actors, like there was, and they're all from Africa, and she incorporated not only them, but you know, the album is featured with a lot of African artists, rappers, singers, Afro punk, Afro beats artists that she featured in the album, The Gift. And so even they played roles, like they represented certain characters of the Lion King as they performed their songs. So if you took all the songs and separated them, they're all their own music videos, but together they told a complete story of the Lion King, a complete story. And the only difference is they didn't use animals, they used humans, and they didn't use the typical Disney Elton John music. They used the music that Beyonce and all these African artists wrote for The Gift, the compilation album that was inspired by the Lion King. And it was beautiful. It was amazing. And I loved every last one of them. Even the songs that I'm not a big fan of, which is probably 2 out the whole soundtrack, which says a lot. The visuals were just beautiful, and it told the story. And it was amazing. Like, I tweeted, you know, Black is King is pure art, and that's exactly what it is. From the cinematography to the dancing to the music, of course, obvious. The music is what carries the story and tells the story. The only lines you get, speaking lines, is James Earl Jones reprising his role as Mufasa. You know, he said certain lines in the Lion King that they just basically place in different parts of the soundtrack, as well as Black is King. And it's basically like Mufasa narrating the story, telling the story. And it worked. Like, it worked beautifully. It was perfection, actually. And also there was a poem. I wish I'd written the author's name, but it was a poem written by an African a poet, that Beyonce basically recited. Those are the only two speaking voices. James Earl Jones as Mufasa saying his famous lines throughout the Lion King movie, and Beyonce reciting this poem written by this poet. And also, every movie I watch, especially if I really love it, I always watch the end credit scenes, because I just like to see, one, because Marvel had conditioned me to do that with all those end credit scenes. You know, you have to sit and wait, so you end up reading the credits. And two, I just like to see what other people, the names of other people, like the cinematographers, like the gaffers, like the sound editors, like the visual editors. If there's any CGI, I want to know who did the CGI of it. You know, I'm just curious. And she didn't just employ or have African talent as far as the dancers, singers, and the rappers. She hired people from Africa, African people, to do the costuming, to do the makeup, to do the FX. They didn't just send a bunch of Americans out there to do all this stuff. No, they hired in-house within the continent that they shot in. And I don't know exactly what all locations that they shot, but from the credit scenes, it looked like they shot in multiple different locations. You know, and the on location scenes are just beautiful. Like, some stuff you could tell were sound stages with decorations, but not all of it. Some of that stuff they actually went to the locations and shot, and it was beautiful. I believe it was like 10 cinematographers, probably more, but it was like a long list, and they all, like, for 10 plus people to be working the cinematography, the photography, and the lighting and all the other stuff, they made it seem so cohesive if this is just one person doing it alone. And it was, like I said, everything just flowed seamlessly, and it was beautiful. It was pure art. It was pure art. Even if you're not a big Beyonce fan, I think you could enjoy it. Like, the songs didn't have any cursing or very minimal cursing, to the point that I didn't catch it. You know, it wasn't no F-bombs or none like that. And if you didn't understand the African lingo or certain phrases that the African rappers or singers were saying, just put on the captions. I did the subtitles. I put it on, and I followed along very effortlessly. I was able to understand what they were saying, even though I kind of understood what most of them are saying, because I've heard the soundtrack all last year. But for those who don't know the lyrics and stuff, like, it wasn't, none of the stuff was degrading. It wasn't misogynistic, homophobic. None of that stuff was in the lyrics. So it was perfect for, I think Disney Plus rated just PG. But to me, it could have been G. Like, you could play this to any kid, in my opinion. I feel like my 4-year-old niece could watch this stuff, because like I said, I don't remember hearing any curse words. I feel like they edit any of that stuff out. But if it was curse words, you couldn't tell. It just slid on through. Probably didn't understand it because of the African dialogue or lingo. But when I was reading the subtitles, I don't think I saw anything bad. And like I said, nothing was degrading. It was all like positive images of black people, not just Africans but Americans. It was just positive images, especially with songs like Brown Skin Girls. That was a beautiful representation. Like, you saw, she had so many different she had cameos of people who weren't even a part of the soundtrack. She had different actors and models. Naomi Campbell was in it, Kelly Rowland, Lupita Nyong'o, a lot of celebrities, a lot of black American and black African celebrities made cameos throughout this entire film, and they worked and it matched and it was beautiful. And Brown Skin Girls was just amazing. Like, she already had a music video kind of for Brown Skin Girls, but this was different, like different scenes, and it was just like, it was just amazing. It was beautiful. I feel like this is perfect positive representation of black people. I feel like a bunch of black kids could watch it. Like, I feel like I could really play this in my classroom, and my black students will really feel empowered and loved and feel like, hey, my skin is beautiful, I'm beautiful. And it still tells the story within the Lion King at the same time. Like, shit like this, stuff like this proves that representation matters. And even if you're not black, if you're white, Mexican, Hispanic, Latino, Latinx, I feel like even you can watch this and enjoy it and be inspired by it and see the beautiful positive images of people of color, and it'll make you feel, you know, just inspired just by the beauty, the costuming, the dancing. It wasn't vulgar dancing, and you know, they had traditional African style mixed with hip-hop, but it wasn't bad, it wasn't negative at all. This was just a beautiful, beautiful piece of work, beautiful piece of art. Beyonce has been killing it with these musical, movie, film type things. She did it with Lemonade and HBO. She did it with Homecoming, her Coachella performance with Netflix, and now she did Black is King with Disney Plus. She is killing the streaming, and every movie, all of her content is just beautiful. It's amazing. And I love that even though this is her album and this is her music, there were so many times in the film that she took a step back and disappeared and gave the spotlight to the other artists that were on the soundtrack. Like, there were songs that, yes, she might have said a line or sang a harmony to, but she completely disappeared out the background and let them take center stage, and that was beautiful. I loved it. I loved it. It was amazing. I'm glad I woke up early this morning to watch it. It's like I said, it's pure art. Thank you, Disney Plus, for putting this on your platform for all young kids, not just black, but all young kids to see and feel inspired. Thank you for Beyonce for this great content, this body of work, the music, the dance scene. To all the African people who are part of this, even the Black American people who are part of this, y'all did y'all things. From behind the camera to in front of camera, y'all did y'all things. This was beautiful. This is inspiring. I'm gonna watch this over and over and over again, and I recommend you watch it too. 10 out of 10 for Beyonce's Black is King on Disney Plus. Please watch it. Show your kids. Watch it as a family. It is a beautiful piece of art, and it's just show positive images. If you can watch negative images of black people, you can partake in positive images. If you can do all these mission trips to Africa and show African people in huts with flowers on their faces, or do all these mission trips and all this other stuff, or go to Cape Town to vacation, you can watch something that portrays and represents Africa in a positive light, that make them seem beautiful and visible, and it was just wonderful. Everybody should watch it. And I'm not just saying this as a Beyonce fan, because I'm not really one. I enjoy her music, but I'm not really a diehard stan of Beyonce's. But I can admire good work, and I can admire a great entertainer when I see one. I'm not one of those people who hate just to hate, or hate to be a contrarian when it comes to big super uber celebrities like Beyonce, because some people just hate her just to hate her, and some people overly love her to the point to where she could murder somebody and they would still stick up for her. I'm never going to be that type of fan, but I do enjoy the body of work that she's been producing for the past 5-6 years. Could be longer than that. I've always admired her as an artist, as a singer, but she's really raised the bar for herself and for other people when it comes to these video contents that she's been giving out on streaming services. So, hey, these visual albums, you know, she's not the first artist to do it. She won't be the last, but she's damn well set the bar high for anybody who wants to do another visual album from this point forward. So, thank you, Beyonce. Thank you, Disney. This was beautiful. Thank you to all the artists who were involved in both the album and the Black is King. This is amazing. And shout out to the child star who represented Simba in this. Good acting, even with no speaking voice, with not saying a damn word. It was beautiful. And the adult Simba, the actor who played adult Simba, everybody was great. Everybody in this project was wonderful. Everybody should go see it. 10 out of 10. Black is King. Proud to be a black person, despite all the bullshit that we have to deal with, the racism and all the other shit. This movie makes me proud to be me. I wouldn't want to be any other race. Like, if nobody roots for us and show us love, we can root for ourselves and show ourselves love. And Beyonce definitely does that for us. So, hey, that's it for Snake Cinema Reviews. I will check you guys out in the next video.